Welcome to Besiege Bots, the real home of robotic combat in Besiege. In this episode, we kick off the redemption round back with the super heavyweights, and we have some strong contenders who will be looking to get back in the hunt for the crown. In our opening contest, we see Team Pilot Light taking on Outcast Robotics in what should be an exciting slugfest between a powerful vertical spinner and a durable wedge bot. Then later, in our main event, we see the Institution of Insanity try to get their second bot, Warp Drive, back in the round of 16 as they take on Team Rickety Androids with their shredded hammer bot, Signus. Foxglove put up a solid showing in one of the most destructive fights of the prelims, losing out on a decision to Sirocco. Outcast Robotics will be looking to bounce back here with a commanding win over a very durable opponent who they beat in the preliminaries with their other entry, Larkspur. Requiem comes into this fight having lost out on a decision against Outcast Robotics' second bot, Larkspur. Team Pilot Light will be out for revenge here, trying to take out Foxglove and avenge their loss in the preliminaries by using their driving skill to win a decision. We're underway with the first fight of episode 5 here. A rematch from the preliminaries, not both the same bots, but both the same teams, as Larkspur beat Requiem via decision in the preliminaries after it KO'd Ufa, who will be appearing later in this episode. But Requiem did a pretty decent job against Larkspur, and Foxglove a very similar wedge setup, but Requiem doing a slightly better job at bouncing the wedge of Foxglove than it did to Larkspur. Larkspur was able to get under a lot. Foxglove got a couple good hits early, but that was a decent hit there. I'm not sure about going with the big anti-spinner wedge here from Requiem though. They do have a bladed wedge setup which would help them get under more often. It just lowers the risk in my opinion, but it would have lower durability, so if they did end up getting caught and hit, it could break the wedge off. So I understand the hesitancy with going with it. But Requiem doing a pretty good job getting control, but unfortunately the same problem that happened with Larkspur. Every time Requiem... Ooh, and a wheel comes off Requiem there. That was nice from Foxglove, turned around while they were on top of Requiem to hit one of the wheels. It was the same kind of problem that happened against Larkspur though, where even when Requiem would get underneath, their opponent ends up just driving over the top of them. So they are gaining control. Ooh, Foxglove staying spun up there and hitting on the top of Requiem. That was smart. Knocked a flying block off of Requiem, it looks like. Which will lower its speed a little bit, which might hurt its wedge engagement. It'll hurt more if it was one of the downforce blocks, but I'm not too sure. I think it was one of the forward propulsion flying blocks. As Foxglove having a little bit of control trouble there. They were gyroing a little bit as they tried to turn. That is a bit of a problem with having such a large spinner. Ooh, and a massive hit! Requiem got sent straight up. They were lucky they didn't get thrown backwards more, or they probably would have gone out of the arena. That was a great hit from Foxglove, and another big hit rips another wheel off Requiem. Ooh, they almost pulled Requiem into their own weapon there. They want to probably avoid that. Requiem is a very durable bot, and Foxglove is not nearly as durable. If they pull Requiem into their own weapon, they'll probably end up destroying their weapon worse than they end up breaking Requiem. Requiem, some more good pushing. They're definitely getting good control, but the aggression and damage is definitely... Well, the damage is definitely in favor of Foxglove. Aggression could be seen either way currently. Requiem are staying aggressive, but... Ooh, and a big hit from Foxglove there. Oh, Foxglove lost like a log out of the back part of their chassis. I think it might have happened when they almost sucked Requiem into the weapon. I'm not too sure. Which is what I'm saying why they need to avoid it, because they'll destroy themselves before they destroy Requiem if they do that. We're down to the last 30 seconds. Another massive hit from Foxglove. Requiem down to a single wheel. This is going to weigh heavily against them on the damage score. They were ahead for most of this fight on control and possibly aggression. Ooh, Foxglove's chassis is not looking too happy either. But we'll see how the judges see it, unless there's a last second Uda here, and there isn't. That's time. We'll see how the judges see it. It's a 24-21 for Foxglove, winning on aggression, damage, and style. While Requiem got control, it lost a lot of control at the end of the fight, which ultimately led to its downfall. Very unfortunate for Team Pilot Light, but Foxglove moves on to the round of 16, and Requiem is eliminated from Summer Slammathon. Owari was dominated in its rumble by Creep, being all but KO'd early on before being Uda'd in the later stages. While I'm sure 999 Robotics would love it if they could pick up a win, the odds are heavily stacked against them in this matchup. Unstable Isotope had a less than ideal showing in their rumble, losing their weapon early on and being KO'd late in the fight. In this round they find themselves against the consensus weakest spot in the bracket in Owari and will need to have a good showing or their tournament hopes could look shaky going forward. And here we go with fight number 2 now, as the plane takes off but goes backwards and flies out of the arena. The plane is considered a projectile weapon, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure it would do much damage, and that was some unfortunate flying. Ooh, as Owari gets flipped over, and it is now functionally KO'd. It cannot get back up. But Unstable Isotope, much like Creep, has decided to take the violent approach, or perhaps the honorable approach, and try and flip the big Treaded bot back over for a bit of a laugh, as Owari probably being counted out here. Not sure if the fight... Oh, Unstable Isotope goes back in, so the count has probably been reset now, due to Unstable Isotope continuing to attack. I can't see the plane outside the arena, so they've gone pretty far if they did crash. Unstable Isotope... Oh, wait, the plane's coming back. I can see the shadow. There it is. Here it comes. Oh, and they've landed the hit. Brilliant work there. Round of applause for the plane pilot. It took them a while, but they got the hit. We'll see if Unstable Isotope just let the count happen. They're probably been counted out themselves as they struggle to self-right. This would be a shocking double KO to have happen. Oh, they got back up just in time. Owari was counted out first. Unstable Isotope wins by KO, moves on to the round of 16. Owari is eliminated. UFA 9000 had a disappointing showing in its rumble, losing its weapon on a good hit from Larkspur in the early going. In this fight, Team Angry American will look to use their drive advantage to outmaneuver and KO their much larger opponent. Sickle mode suffered a similar fate to their opponent in the prelims, losing their weapon and being KO'd by Ballistic MG. In this matchup, Team Wasted Potential will look to use their size advantage to bully around UFA and possibly look for a KO or UDA win. We're underway in what promises to be an interesting fight here. UFA going for a charge on Sickle mode, and they've gone over the wall in 8 seconds. That is the fastest fight in Besiege Bot's tournament history. I feel terrible for Team Angry American, but Sickle mode wins by UDA and goes to the round of 16, and UFA 9000 Redux is eliminated from Summer Slammathon. Signus was KO'd in its preliminary match after losing both its treads and suffering some damage to the frame. Rickety Android's weapon was still functional, however, but they may have a tough stylistic matchup in this one with such a fast opponent. Our final bot for this episode is Warp Drive, which had a solid showing in its rumble before being tossed over the wall on their own slam attempt by Black Hole. In this fight, the Institution of Insanity will look to use their significant mobility advantage to bully around the much slower Signus. the main event of episode 5 now, as Warp Drive rammed into Signus so hard that it ripped part of their wedge off, and Signus lands a nice hit, destroying one of the wheel stacks, and I think possibly some of the armor on the side there on Warp Drive. Yeah, destroyed that little wheel guard type thing that it has. Warp Drive with a nice flip there though, got underneath, pushed them to the wall. Warp Drive showing off the speed. It is very hard for Signus to actually hit it. Ooh, but they landed another good one there. Honestly, pretty good work so far from Signus's drive to land some hits. So they managed to self-right. Ooh, Signus's chassis looks a little bit damaged, possibly from one of the rams, as Ufa flings itself up and hits Signus on top. As Warp Drive basically has to crash into Signus for Signus to land a hit. Oh, it's trying to Uda Signus, but couldn't get it over the wall. They're kind of stuck in the corner here. Signus definitely in some trouble with Warp Drive in control and in a position where they can't. Ooh, and a big slam there. Rips one of the treads off of Signus. Warp Drive is not messing around. Signus looks very slow here. I think that bent segment of the chassis is not doing it any favors. They're being allowed to continue, it seems, by the judges, but that was very questionable mobility. Maybe Warp Drive just doesn't want it to end like that. The Institution of Insanity? No, they seem to be letting it be counted out. Seems that Signus is being counted out. I'm not too sure, because Warp Drive's not engaging. I'm really not too sure what's happening here. This is one of those calls that it probably should be being counted out right now. But it seems the judge is unsure of what to do. Okay, I guess the fight's continuing. Warp Drive is poking Signus and backing out before Signus can hit it. Getting around to the back there. It's a little bit hard to drive Warp Drive with one of those wheel stacks missing, but ooh, and they fling themselves massively there. They're able to generate those kinds of throws because the drive is so fast, they require a counter reaction wheel, which is wheels that have braces stacked on top of them to counteract the force of the drive wanting to flip the bot. So when they turn those off, they can actually flip the bot around just from the drive power of the wheels. Signus trying to self-right there. Warp Drive really in control of this one. They're probably dominating control and aggression. And honestly, they might be ahead on damage, because Signus's frame is bent. And one of their treads is missing. It's been a fairly dominant fight from Warp Drive. Other than those couple early hits, Signus really hasn't done a whole lot. Warp Drive looking for the ear to that, couldn't get it. Ooh, wow, it's even more bent, the chassis now. You can see that plow there is bent underneath Signus's chassis. Yeah, I definitely don't think it can drive now. As Warp Drive self-rights in the background, we'll see. Yeah, Signus is being counted out now, and that's time. So Warp Drive gets a KO with about 10 seconds left in the fight. Warp Drive will move on to the round of 16, and Signus is eliminated from Summer Slammathon. That's it for this episode. Our 4 bots heading into the round of 16 are Foxglove, Unstable Isotope, Sickle Mode, and Warp Drive. Unfortunately, we also have to say goodbye to Requiem, Owari, Ufa 9000 Redux, and Signus. In the next episode, we will begin the Beaterweight Bracket Redemption round. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. If you're interested in joining our community, follow the Discord link in the description. From everyone on the Besiege Bots Discord, Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.